Ladies, let's take a moment to connect with ourselves, with our hearts. In relationships, it's important to remember our value, our strength, and our power. Often we get swept away in love, wanting to please, wanting to be loved in return. But today, I want to remind you of the power you hold within yourself. Let's explore 9 things we should not do with a man if we truly want to maintain our sense of self-worth and inner peace. In the pursuit of love, it's easy to get caught up in the desire to make the relationship work, to do whatever it takes to keep the man you love happy and satisfied. You might find yourself gradually compromising, changing your behavior, or altering your needs just to maintain harmony or avoid conflict. While compromise is natural in any relationship, there's a fine line between healthy compromise and losing yourself entirely. It's vital to understand that sacrificing who you are to please someone else is a slippery slope that can erode your sense of self-worth and personal identity. At the heart of any healthy relationship is balance, respect, and mutual understanding. When you begin to lose yourself, it often starts subtly. Maybe you stop engaging in activities you once loved because your partner isn't interested. Perhaps you adjust your opinions to avoid arguments or go along with things you don't enjoy just to make him happy. Over time, these small sacrifices can add up, leading to a life that no longer reflects your true desires or values. The risk here is that by constantly bending and reshaping yourself to fit someone else's expectations, you begin to forget who you truly are. One of the most profound truths in life is that you, as an individual, are valuable and worthy of love just as you are. You don't need to change or diminish your essence to be loved. When you give away pieces of yourself to please someone else, you're telling yourself that you're not enough, that you need to be someone different to be worthy of love and acceptance. This belief can become deeply ingrained and damaging, not just to your self-esteem, but also to the relationship itself. Authentic love thrives on genuine connection. And you can't build a truly fulfilling relationship when you're hiding parts of yourself or pretending to be someone you're not. It's important to recognize that love isn't about losing yourself, it's about sharing who you truly are. In a healthy relationship, both partners should encourage each other to grow, to pursue passions, and to maintain their individuality. Love should not require you to sacrifice your dreams or the things that make you feel alive. In fact, the right relationship will inspire you to be the best version of yourself, not a diminished version that fits someone else's mold. When you lose yourself in a relationship, you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, but also to your partner. Think about it, what attracted your partner to you in the first place. It was likely your individuality, your passions, your unique personality. When you start to suppress those qualities, the dynamic of the relationship changes. You may become resentful, bitter, or even emotionally distant, and your partner might sense that something has shifted. Love that once felt vibrant and full can become stagnant when one or both people are no longer fully expressing their true selves. Another consequence of losing yourself in a relationship is the potential for codependency. When your identity becomes intertwined with your partner's, you can begin to rely on them for your sense of worth, validation, and happiness. This kind of dependency can lead to feelings of insecurity and anxiety because your emotional well-being is tied to someone else's actions, moods, and approval. It also places an unfair burden on your partner to fulfill needs that can only be truly met from within. No one can complete you or make you feel whole. That's a journey only you can take by embracing your full, authentic self. So how do you prevent losing yourself in a relationship? It starts with self-awareness. Check in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself, am I still engaging in the activities that bring me joy? Am I expressing my true thoughts and feelings in this relationship? Am I compromising in ways that feel healthy, or am I bending too far? If you notice that you're consistently putting your partner's needs above your own, it's time to take a step back and realign with your inner truth. It's essential to maintain your own sense of identity and independence, even in the closest of relationships. boundaries are another crucial element. Healthy boundaries help you protect your individuality while still being emotionally available in a relationship. They are not about creating walls, but about knowing your limits and respecting your own needs. For example, if you need time alone to recharge or pursue a personal hobby, it's important to communicate that to your partner and make space for it in your life. Boundaries help ensure that you don't lose yourself by giving too much of your time, energy, or emotional resources to someone else. Finally, self-love is the foundation of maintaining your sense of self in any relationship. When you love and respect yourself, you won't feel the need to constantly seek validation or approval from your partner. You'll have the confidence to express your needs, set boundaries, and stay true to who you are. Self-love allows you to enter a relationship as a whole person rather than someone looking to be completed or fixed. Remember, relationships should enhance your life, not diminish it. You deserve to be in a relationship where you can flourish, where your individuality is celebrated, and where you can continue to grow as the incredible, unique person that you are. Never lose sight of yourself in the process of loving someone else. You are worthy of love exactly as you are, without changing or compromising your essence. Stay true to yourself, and the right love will always find you. Deep within each of us lies an inner compass, a quiet yet powerful voice that guides us through life. This voice, often referred to as intuition, is an innate gift we all possess. It is a source of wisdom that comes from a place beyond logic, beyond reason, and it has the ability to steer us in the direction of our highest good. For many, however, this voice is often drowned out by external influences, self-doubt, or the constant noise of life. But if we learn to trust our intuition, it can become one of the most reliable sources of guidance, especially in relationships and life decisions. Intuition is not something mystical or elusive. It is a natural part of us, a deep knowing that exists within the core of our being. Sometimes it shows up as a gut feeling, a subtle nudge that something is off, or a sense of peace when something is right. It's the feeling we get when we meet someone and instantly know whether or not we can trust them. It's the inexplicable urge to take a different path home, or to call a friend at just the right time. Our intuition operates on a level that our conscious mind may not fully understand, but it is always there, offering insight if we choose to listen. One of the reasons many of us struggle to trust our intuition is that we have been conditioned to rely on logic and reason. From an early age, we are taught to weigh the pros and cons, to think through every decision, and to seek external validation before making choices. While logic certainly has its place, it often causes us to second-guess ourselves, to dismiss those subtle inner warnings because they don't align with what seems rational on the surface. However, intuition often bypasses what is logical, tapping into a deeper source of wisdom that sees beyond what our conscious mind can perceive. When we ignore our intuition, the consequences can be profound. Many people can recall a time when they had a gut feeling about something but chose to ignore it, only to realize later that they were right all along. Perhaps you had a nagging feeling that a certain job wasn't right for you, but you took it anyway because it made sense on paper. Maybe you felt uneasy about a new relationship but stayed because everything seemed fine outwardly. In hindsight, you likely recognize that your intuition was trying to protect you, to guide you away from something that wasn't aligned with your highest good. In relationships, intuition is especially important. Whether it's romantic, familial, or friendship-based, our intuition helps us sense the energy between ourselves and others. It can alert us to red flags early on before problems fully manifest. But sometimes we meet someone and there's an immediate sense of unease or discomfort, even if nothing overtly negative has happened. That's your intuition speaking. It may be picking up on subtle cues, body language, tone of voice, or unspoken energy that your conscious mind isn't fully registering. Conversely, intuition can also help us recognize when we are in the presence of someone who is good for us, someone whose energy aligns with ours and who brings out the best in us. Trusting your intuition doesn't mean abandoning logic altogether, but it does mean giving equal weight to your inner knowing. It means honoring the quiet voice inside, even when it doesn't make immediate sense. Learning to trust your intuition requires practice and self-awareness. The more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. Start by paying attention to those small nudges you feel throughout the day. Maybe you feel compelled to reach out to a friend, change your plans at the last minute, or say no to something that doesn't sit right with you. Notice how these decisions play out. More often than not, your intuition will lead you to the right place. Developing a relationship with your intuition also involves cultivating stillness. In our fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions. It's difficult to hear the voice of intuition when our minds are cluttered with external noise. Taking time to slow down, meditate, or simply be in silence allows you to reconnect with your inner wisdom. In these quiet moments, you'll find that your intuition speaks more clearly, offering guidance that feels aligned with your true self. It's important to acknowledge that trusting your intuition may sometimes require courage. When you follow your intuition, you may be guided to make decisions that others don't understand or that defy conventional wisdom. People around you might question your choices, and your own mind might resist, urging you to stick with what feels safe or familiar. But trusting your intuition means trusting yourself, believing that you know what is best for you, even when others do not see the full picture. Ultimately, intuition is a tool for self-empowerment. It reminds us that we have the answers within us and that we don't need to rely on external approval to make the right choices. When we trust our intuition, we step into our power, taking responsibility for our own lives and decisions. We no longer feel the need to seek validation from others or second-guess ourselves, because we know that we are being guided by something deeper, something that always has our best interests at heart. In a world that often encourages us to look outside of ourselves for answers, trusting your intuition is an act of self-love and self-respect. It's a way of saying, I trust myself, I trust my inner wisdom, I am capable of making decisions that honor my highest good. The more you lean into this practice, the more you'll find that life flows with greater ease, and that you are guided to the people, opportunities, and experiences that truly serve your soul's growth. Life has a way of making us question our worth, especially when it comes to relationships and our personal ambitions. Sometimes it seems easier to lower our standards, to accept less than we deserve, simply because we fear the alternative, being alone, missing out on an opportunity, or not knowing if something better will come along. But settling for less than what we truly want or deserve can have long-lasting consequences on our happiness, self-esteem, and overall sense of fulfillment. To live a life that reflects our highest potential, we must learn to never settle for less. Settling can take many forms. In relationships, it might mean staying with a partner who doesn't fully appreciate or respect you, or who doesn't align with your core values, simply because you're afraid of being alone. In your career, settling might look like accepting a job that doesn't inspire or challenge you because you believe there's nothing better out there, or because you're afraid to take a risk. Even in everyday life, settling can manifest in small ways, like not speaking up for yourself, not pursuing your passions, or not taking care of your own well-being. One of the biggest reasons people settle is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being judged. These fears can keep us trapped in situations that don't serve us, leading us to believe that we should be content with whatever comes our way. But this mindset is rooted in scarcity, in the belief that there isn't enough love, success, or happiness to go around, so we should take whatever we can get. The truth is, life is abundant, and when we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, we open ourselves up to receive what we truly desire. When you settle for less, you send a message to yourself and the universe that you don't believe you deserve more. This message can manifest in subtle ways over time, chipping away at your confidence and self-worth. You may begin to question your value, wondering if you're asking for too much or if you're even worthy of what you want. But the reality is, you are always worthy of your desires. You deserve to be in a relationship where you feel loved, respected, and valued. You deserve a career that excites you and allows you to grow. You deserve a life that feels fulfilling, joyful, and meaningful. It's important to recognize that not settling doesn't mean expecting perfection. Life is full of challenges and imperfections, and relationships, jobs, and personal pursuits will all come with their ups and downs. The key is to know the difference between healthy compromise and settling. Compromise is an essential part of life and relationships. It involves making adjustments and finding common ground without sacrificing your core values or needs. Settling, on the other hand, involves giving up on what truly matters to you, whether it's your happiness, your dreams, or your sense of self-respect. To avoid settling, you must first get clear on what you truly want and deserve. This requires introspection and honesty with yourself. Take the time to reflect on your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. What does a fulfilling relationship look like to you? What kind of work inspires you and makes you feel alive? What kind of life do you want to create for yourself? Once you have a clear picture of what you want, it becomes easier to recognize when something falls short of that vision. Another important step is to cultivate self-worth. The more you believe in your own value, the less likely you are to settle for less than you deserve. Self-worth comes from within. It's about recognizing your inherent worthiness, independent of external validation or achievements. When you love and respect yourself, you set higher standards for your life, and you become unwilling to accept anything that doesn't align with those standards. It's also essential to trust the process of life. Sometimes we settle because we don't believe that something better will come along. But life has a way of surprising us when we have faith and remain open to new possibilities. Trusting the process means being patient, knowing that the right opportunities, people, and experiences will come into your life at the right time. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and allowing the universe to work in your favor. When you trust that life is always working for your highest good, you can release the fear of missing out and focus on staying true to yourself. Of course, walking away from something that isn't right for you can be challenging. It requires courage, especially when you don't have a guarantee of what's next. But every time you choose not to settle, you make space for something better to come into your life. By saying no to what doesn't serve you, you create room for what truly aligns with your desires and your worth. It might take time, but the rewards of not settling far outweigh the temporary discomfort of letting go. Remember, you are the creator of your own life. You have the power to choose what you accept and what you let go of. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back from living a life that reflects your true potential. You are worthy of love, success, and happiness, and you have the right to pursue them without settling for less. The more you honor yourself and your desires, the more you attract experiences, people, and opportunities that are in alignment with your highest good. In the end, not settling is an act of self-love. It's a commitment to honoring your own worth and living in a way that reflects your true value. When you refuse to settle, you step into your power, and you begin to create a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and aligned with who you truly are. Independence is one of the most important qualities we can nurture in our lives, especially in our relationships and personal growth. To maintain your independence means to stay true to who you are, to honor your individuality, and to ensure that your sense of self is not dependent on others. In a world that often places heavy emphasis on relationships, social acceptance, and conformity, it can be easy to lose sight of your own needs, desires, and personal power. However, maintaining your independence is essential to living a fulfilling and empowered life, one where you remain in control of your destiny. When we think about independence, we often associate it with physical or financial autonomy, but emotional and mental independence are equally vital. Emotional independence means not relying on others to fulfill you or provide you with validation. It means recognizing that your happiness, self-worth, and contentment come from within rather than depending on external factors. When you cultivate emotional independence, you become less affected by the opinions, judgments, or actions of others. You are able to stand in your own truth and maintain your sense of peace, regardless of the chaos that may surround you. In relationships, maintaining your independence is crucial to the health and longevity of the partnership. Too often, people lose themselves in their relationships, becoming so enmeshed with their partner that they forget who they are as individuals. They may start to prioritize their partner's needs over their own, compromise their values, or neglect their personal goals and passions. While it is natural to make compromises in a relationship, it is unhealthy to sacrifice your identity for the sake of being with someone else. When you lose your independence, you can become emotionally dependent on your partner, which can lead to an imbalance of power and resentment over time. Independence in a relationship does not mean being distant or disconnected. On the contrary, maintaining your independence allows you to show up more fully in the relationship. When you are secure in yourself, you bring your best self to the partnership. You are able to give love freely, without expecting the other person to complete you or fill a void within you. This creates a foundation of mutual respect and equality, where both partners are able to thrive as individuals while supporting one another in their growth. One of the keys to maintaining your independence is setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential in all relationships, whether they are romantic, familial, or friendships. They allow you to protect your energy, time, and emotional well-being. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you are pushing people away. It means you are creating a healthy space where both parties can flourish. It is important to communicate your needs clearly and assertively, without guilt or fear of rejection. When you honor your boundaries, you teach others how to treat you and show them that you value your own well-being. Another important aspect of independence is pursuing your passions and interests. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of daily life or the expectations of others, but your personal passions are what make you unique. Whether it's a hobby, a creative pursuit, or a career goal, nurturing your own interests is a powerful way to maintain your sense of self. These pursuits give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment that comes from within, rather than relying on external sources. When you engage in activities that bring you joy, you strengthen your self-confidence and reinforce your own identity. Maintaining your independence also means being financially responsible. Financial independence gives you the freedom to make choices based on what's best for you, rather than being dependent on someone else's resources. It allows you to take control of your future, to set your own goals, and to make decisions that align with your values. Financial independence doesn't necessarily mean you have to be wealthy, but it does mean managing your money wisely and making choices that support your long-term well-being. This could involve budgeting, saving, and investing in ways that empower you to live the life you desire. In addition to emotional and financial independence, mental independence is another crucial aspect. Mental independence means thinking for yourself, forming your own opinions, and being able to stand by them even when they go against the grain. In a world where social media and peer pressure often dictate our thoughts and behaviors, it's important to stay grounded in your own beliefs and values. This doesn't mean being rigid or closed-minded, but it does mean having the confidence to question things, to seek out your own truth, and to trust your own judgment. The path to independence is not always easy. It requires self-awareness, self-discipline, and the willingness to stand up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. It means making choices that prioritize your well-being, even if those choices are not popular or convenient. But the rewards of independence are immeasurable. When you maintain your independence, you create a life that is authentically yours. You make decisions based on your true desires and needs rather than being swayed by external pressures. Independence also fosters self-respect. When you know you are capable of taking care of yourself emotionally, financially, and mentally, you build a deep sense of pride in who you are. This self-respect radiates outward and influences every aspect of your life, including your relationships. When you respect yourself, others are more likely to respect you as well. You attract people who honor your boundaries, who value your individuality, and who support your personal growth. Ultimately, maintaining your independence is an act of self-love. It is about honoring yourself and your needs without relying on others to define your worth or your happiness. It is about recognizing that you are whole and complete on your own, and that your value does not diminish based on your relationship status, financial situation, or the opinions of others. Independence gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms, to pursue your dreams, and to become the fullest expression of who you are meant to be. In every relationship, whether it be with a partner, a friend, or a family member, open communication is essential for maintaining trust and understanding. Yet, one of the most challenging aspects of communication is talking openly about what hurts. Many people avoid discussing their pain or discomfort because they fear conflict, rejection, or being misunderstood. However, when we keep our feelings bottled up, the pain doesn't go away. Instead, it festers, grows, and eventually seeps into other aspects of our relationships, often causing more harm in the long run. Communicating openly about what hurts is not only a way to release emotional burdens, but it also deepens the connection between two people. It allows you to express your vulnerabilities and, in turn, gives the other person an opportunity to understand you better. Relationships thrive on honesty, and when you have the courage to speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, you create space for healing, growth, and mutual respect. One reason people struggle to communicate about what hurts is the fear of how the other person will react. It's natural to want to avoid conflict or hurting someone's feelings, but withholding your pain can lead to a buildup of resentment over time. Instead of addressing issues as they arise, the unresolved emotions can snowball into bigger problems, creating distance and tension. Honest communication, on the other hand, can prevent these issues from escalating. When you express what's on your mind early on, you reduce the risk of misunderstandings and allow for a constructive dialogue that can resolve the situation before it becomes overwhelming. It's important to remember that discussing what hurts doesn't have to be confrontational or combative. How you communicate is just as important as what you communicate. Approaching the conversation with kindness, patience, and a willingness to listen can make all the difference. Instead of blaming or accusing the other person, try to focus on how you feel. Use I statements to express your emotions, such as "I felt hurt when," or "I'm feeling upset about." This allows you to take ownership of your feelings without putting the other person on the defensive. When you share your pain in a non-confrontational way, you invite the other person to engage with empathy rather than defensiveness. Another challenge that arises when communicating openly about pain is vulnerability. It can be difficult to admit when something has hurt you, especially if it makes you feel exposed or weak. However, vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. It takes courage to let someone in and share your deepest feelings. When you are vulnerable, you give the other person a chance to see the real you, and that honesty can strengthen the bond between you. Vulnerability fosters intimacy, trust, and understanding in ways that superficial conversations cannot. In many cases, the person you're speaking to may not even be aware that they have hurt you. People have different perspectives, experiences, and communication styles, and what may be painful to one person may not even register to another. By sharing your feelings, you provide clarity and give the other person the opportunity to make amends or change their behavior. Without communication, the other person is left in the dark, and the relationship can suffer as a result. It's essential to give others the chance to understand your perspective, especially if the hurt was unintentional. Sometimes people fear that talking about their pain will make them appear too sensitive or that they're overreacting. But your feelings are valid. If something has caused you pain, it deserves to be addressed. Avoiding your emotions or minimizing them will only lead to further dissatisfaction. It's important to honor your feelings and recognize that they are a vital part of who you are. When you communicate openly about what hurts, you're standing up for yourself and acknowledging that your emotional well-being matters. Additionally, talking about what hurts can lead to personal growth. When you reflect on your pain and share it with others, you gain insight into your own emotional triggers and needs. This self-awareness can help you navigate future relationships with more confidence and clarity. Open communication not only strengthens your relationships, but also enhances your emotional intelligence. By understanding what causes you pain and expressing it constructively, you develop greater emotional resilience and the ability to handle difficult situations with grace. Of course, not every conversation about pain will go smoothly. Sometimes the other person may not respond in the way you hope, or they may need time to process what you've shared. That's okay. What's important is that you have taken the step to express yourself openly. You cannot control how others react, but you can control how you communicate. By being honest, you are doing your part to foster healthy, transparent relationships. It's also crucial to recognize when certain situations require professional support. If you find that you are unable to communicate your pain effectively, or if the relationship is fraught with ongoing issues that seem insurmountable, seeking the guidance of a counselor or therapist can provide invaluable tools and insights. Sometimes an objective third party can help facilitate difficult conversations and create a safe space for both parties to express their feelings. Ultimately, communicating openly about what hurts is an act of self-love and respect. It shows that you value your emotional well-being and that you are willing to take the necessary steps to preserve it. It also demonstrates your commitment to building authentic, healthy relationships based on trust and understanding. By embracing honest communication, you not only heal your own emotional wounds, but also create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. In the end, this kind of openness leads to deeper, more meaningful connections and a greater sense of peace within yourself. Loving yourself first is a fundamental principle for living a fulfilling, balanced, and joyful life. It's often misunderstood as being selfish or self-centered, but in reality, loving yourself is an essential act of self-care and self-respect. When you truly love yourself, you are better equipped to love others, to give, to serve, and to live authentically. It is about recognizing your worth, honoring your boundaries, and nurturing your well-being without compromising who you are for the sake of others. At its core, loving yourself means accepting yourself fully, the good, the bad, and everything in between. We live in a world where there is constant pressure to meet external standards of perfection, beauty, and success. Social media, societal expectations, and even well-meaning loved ones can contribute to feelings of inadequacy. However, true self-love starts when you stop measuring yourself by those external standards and start embracing yourself for who you are. This includes acknowledging your strengths and talents, as well as being compassionate toward your flaws and mistakes. Everyone has imperfections, and loving yourself means not allowing those imperfections to define your self-worth. Self-love is also about prioritizing your needs and well-being. Too often we put the needs of others before our own, thinking that self-sacrifice is a noble act. While helping others is admirable, it is important to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you continuously neglect your own needs, you will eventually burn out, leaving you unable to care for others or even yourself. Loving yourself first means taking the time to care for your physical, emotional, and mental health. It means setting aside time to rest, reflect, and recharge without feeling guilty about it. It is recognizing that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's. One of the most important aspects of loving yourself is setting and enforcing healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your energy, time, and emotional health. When you love yourself, you understand that it is not only okay but necessary to say no to things that drain you or do not serve your highest good. This could mean saying no to toxic relationships, unreasonable demands, or situations that compromise your values. Loving yourself means having the courage to stand up for yourself and to protect your peace, even if it disappoints others. You are not obligated to be everything to everyone, and setting boundaries allows you to show up more fully for the things and people that truly matter. Self-love also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. We all make errors in judgment, experience failures, and go through periods of regret. However, holding on to guilt and shame only weighs you down and prevents you from moving forward. When you love yourself, you understand that mistakes are a natural part of life and that they do not define who you are. Forgiving yourself is an act of compassion and self-acceptance. It allows you to learn from your experiences, grow stronger, and become more resilient. Letting go of the past opens up space for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your highest self. Another crucial aspect of loving yourself first is nurturing your personal growth and dreams. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of everyday life or the expectations of others, but your dreams and desires are valid and worth pursuing. Loving yourself means giving yourself permission to go after what you truly want in life, whether it's a career goal, a creative pursuit, or a personal transformation. It means believing in your potential and investing in your growth, whether that's through learning new skills, taking risks, or stepping out of your comfort zone. When you love yourself, you recognize that your dreams are important, and you take action to make them a reality, even if it requires courage and persistence. Self-love is not just about the big, transformative moments, it's also about the small, everyday acts of kindness you show toward yourself. It's about speaking to yourself with kindness and compassion, rather than harsh criticism or judgment. It's about listening to your body's needs and giving yourself permission to rest when you're tired or to indulge in something that brings you joy. It's about celebrating your achievements, no matter how small, and acknowledging the progress you've made along your journey. These small acts of self-care and self-compassion accumulate over time, building a strong foundation of love and respect for yourself. When you love yourself first, you also attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships into your life. People who love themselves set the standard for how they expect to be treated, and they are less likely to tolerate mistreatment, manipulation, or disrespect. When you know your worth, you naturally gravitate toward people who uplift, support, and respect you. Loving yourself creates a ripple effect in your relationships, as it allows you to give and receive love from a place of wholeness rather than neediness or insecurity. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and love, and when you love yourself, you are better equipped to cultivate and maintain those kinds of connections. Loving yourself first also leads to greater inner peace and happiness. When you stop seeking validation from external sources and start finding it within yourself, you free yourself from the endless cycle of comparison and competition. You no longer need to prove your worth or seek approval from others because you are secure in who you are. This self-assuredness brings a sense of calm and contentment that cannot be easily shaken by external circumstances. You become more resilient in the face of challenges, more confident in your decisions, and more at peace with the flow of life. In essence, loving yourself first is about embracing your true self, honoring your needs, and living authentically. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness just as you are. When you love yourself first, you empower yourself to create a life that reflects your values, passions, and dreams. You become the source of your own joy and fulfillment, and from that place of self-love, you are able to share your light with the world.